Hey everybody, welcome back to my shop. This week we're going to be taking a look at this Dumore tool post grinder that I picked up off of either Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Going to be taking it apart, redoing the wiring inside the motor. Taking the motor apart and rebuilding the cord with placing this switch. You'll see. Pretty cool. It came with this original can of oil. Not sure how you're supposed to pour it out of this can into this little teeny oil hole, but I guess I'll figure something out. Be creative. And it came with this pile of extra parts, belts, and grinding stones, and not sure what this is. An old glass jar of something. Looks like oil. Doesn't really seem to have a smell. I'll have to pour a little bit out and see if I can figure out what it is. And this, I'm guessing maybe this has something to do with dressing the stone. I don't know. It's the second time I've seen something like this stuck in a tool post grinder box, so if you know, please let me know. And yeah, so we'll get all this fixed up and working again, and then we've got a project for it. I also, at the same time, get this over here so you can see it. At the same time, I got this Themac. I think that's how you pronounce it. Themac tool post grinder. A little bigger, but for what I wanted to do this time, I think the smaller Dumore is going to be more manageable. I do want to go through here though and see what it's got in the way of stones. That maybe I can use on the Dumore. The Dumore only has an 1/8 inch collet. Alright, this was in there. I assure you it was in there. There we go. That's for another day. We'll look at that later. So let's get cracking on the Dumore, and yeah, then on to the next project. Looks like the cord is in okay condition until we get down to this end. Got it grounded there, which is okay. This part's kind of scary. Alright, I'm going to start by seeing if I can fix this plug, this electric cord. I would assume I can get more belts from Dumore. But hey, you know what they say about assumptions. That's what happened with my last tool post grinder. It was a Dumore, and when I bought it I assumed I could get parts. Not the case. It is old and they do not make it anymore. Well, that was easy. Okay, alright, this is not too bad. It's very serviceable. Need one of those pliers. These are not different. That wiring's a little crunchy. Guess I'm going to do something about that too. Let's take these brushes out. Reminder to myself, this is the one nearest the power cord. This is the one farthest away from the power cord. There we go. Okay, now do not want to damage that. Let's see if I can pull that. There we go. Very crunchy wiring in here, huh? All sorts of exposed stuff. The heat shrink gun is going to be getting a workout on this. Okay, let's see now. What else? how I'm going to get this back on. Well, alright, that broke. See about, maybe I'll print a new one. Crunchy stuff here. Let's hook up some sort of strain relief for it. All you guys out there wincing, I'm sorry. Read the disclaimer on my YouTube channel. Not how you should do it. Actually a lot easier to take apart than the older one. Alright, so I messed around with the with CAD and the 3D printer to see about recreating these grommets, or this grommet, and went through several iterations. Finally got one right that fit, but then made some more adjustments, because even despite the fact that this is made out of TPU and you can see it's flexible, it's actually softer than the rubber one now, which is hard and brittle. But I just couldn't get it to go through the hole with this extra little flange piece on it. I don't know how they do it in industry, because it's one of the most painful things I always encounter, is trying to get the grommet through the hole and get the wire through the grommet, and everything is so tight. So anyway, what I ended up doing was taking that off. I have the grommet that fits nicely on the part now, and it's a nice tight fit in the body of the motor here. There we go. So yeah, so that works out pretty nicely. So that's what I'm going to use for that. I also get this back out. Also discovered, I was trying to figure out how to keep this where you guys can see it. I was trying to figure out how to hook up the ground wire, and then I noticed this hole. You see that? Yeah, this hole right here is unique. There's only the one, and it's tapped for 1032. And it happens to be right next to where the wire comes in. That actually may be a bit of a problem, but anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 1032 screw and a nut and attach the ground inside the motor. So next step is I'm just going to get this cleaned up, get all the old dirt out of it, and get that cleaned up, and then finish. I put shrink wrap on one of the wires that goes to the brush. I need to do that to the second one here, and then I need to, this is one of the wires that goes to the power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of shrink wrap on this, solder, and put it so I can get most of it, solder the wire, and then shrink wrap the rest. I left this one because I'm not sure if it matters or not. I don't think it does with AC, but I'm going to put everything back the way it was. as far as this being hooked up to the black wire or this being hooked up to the white wire. Yeah. So anyway, finish that up, put this back together, and then hopefully this thing should be good to go. And then I can get to the task that I really intended to do, which is to make an adapter for the mount for this so that it fits at the proper height on my tool post. I'll have to check it. I think this is too low, but we shall see. And then I can use this thing to do, of course, the next project that's been started but unable to finish because I need this tool now. It's the way it is. I sometimes get 3 or 4 tools deep on projects, sub-projects within sub-projects. Alright, I'm going to so I'm going to start getting the this cleaned up and get this, and let's get this done. I'm going to take this cap off and make sure that this bearing has some lubricant on it before I put this back together. Interesting. So that is just a bushing. Which means that oil hole does nothing because there is no hole through that bushing. Okay. I guess what I'll do when I go to put it back together is I'll just put some light grease in there. For now, shrink wrap on that one. That is, I want that to be white. Let's get this other one cleaned up. old crunchy insulation off of here. And I want black for that one. See if I've got a teeny tiny black. Got some. Perfect. Alright, I like that one. Now, I want to cut it about there. Alright, now, what I had to do for this one is I had to actually bend the copper wires here straight so I could get the shrink tube, heat shrink tube over it, and then bend them back. I did them one at a time so I could rebend it back to the proper shape, and that seemed to work well. There, get the insulation there. The rest of the crunchy old stuff off. And come on, buddy, take that one. It's on for. lost my solder, so I had to go to the store and pick up some new one. It'll show up one of these days around here somewhere. That's the way it is. Alright, let me see if there's a way I can kind of tie these together a little bit. I want this joint to be as small as possible so that the soldered portion is not very big. Let's try that. Okay, that's good. Now, these have springs like that. As some of my British YouTuber friends would say, that's a little fiddly. I am not sure what these holes are here for at all, because this thing does not have roller bearings and it doesn't have holes through those bushings. So, who knows? Alright, we're just about ready to fire this thing up. Hopefully that don't let out all the magic smoke. I don't have the switch wired in yet, so I'm just going to plug it in and see if she spins. Okay, the moment of truth. Alright, I'm going to consider that a success. I will put a switch on it. Put this back on here for now. Alright, the Dumore is all put back together, all cleaned up. Got the new grommet on there, and operational. And it didn't take, as I said, it didn't take much at all to get this on the right height. All right, thanks for watching everybody, and we'll see you next time when we're actually using this tool post grinder.